Hey there, I'm Lauren, and this is Yoga for Wintering. So we're actually going to start in Thunderbolt pose. So come onto your knees and sit on your heels. This is a good pose for stability and grounding. Good place to start setting our intention for today. So go ahead and lengthen the back of the neck, rising out of the waist, dropping the shoulders away from the ears. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose with that healing Ujjayi breath. As you keep breathing at your own pace, I'll just say a word about this class. So this is, I call it yoga for wintering as opposed to winter. I'm using the verb because I want to think of winter not just as the season, something that happens to us, but something we choose, a state of being almost. And this was inspired by reading the book Wintering by Catherine May. I'll share a quote. Doing these deeply unfashionable things, slowing down, letting your spare time expand, getting enough sleep, resting, a radical act these days, but they are essential. This is a crossroads we all know, a moment when you need to shed a skin. If you do, you'll expose all these painful nerve endings and feel so raw that you'll need to take care of yourself for a while. If you don't, that old skin will harden around you. It's one of the most important choices you'll ever make. So keeping this idea of wintering as an active practice, something that we control, that we choose, and something healing. We're going to use this class to both break up scar tissue and then prepare you for the changes that you need to make. And then we'll do some soothing poses for that new raw skin, the fledgling person that you're trying to become. All this really hit home for me recently as I wrap up a year of wintering, of cocooning, and just kind of a sabbatical where I prioritized rest and recovery, physical health above everything else. And now I'm moving into a new phase, becoming a therapist and putting a lot more out there. Sometimes we all need to, go internal, go insular for a while, and heal ourselves before we're able to be there for others in new and better ways. And that's totally fine. Let's start with some movement. So we're going to go to the front of our mat in mountain pose. All right, we're going to do sun salutation A with a twist. So up, inhale, and fold, exhale. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, chaturanga. Lower down. And inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Take the first couple breaths in down dog, just really pedaling the feet, really lifting the seat up towards the sky, lengthening the arms and the spine. And then when you're ready, I'm going to place my right foot a little bit more to the center. I'm going to lift my left foot into the air and then twirl back. Just such a nice extension, getting into that hip flexor on the left side. Definitely breaking up some scar tissue, so to speak, from just not moving as much in the winter weather. And I'm going to take my left foot towards the center of the mat, lift the right foot, and twist over. Oh, big stretch. All right. And then Exhale, lower down. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog one more time. And take 2 more breaths here. And let's come back up to the front. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach the hands all the way up. Exhale, heart center. All right, again, inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, plank to chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. And then lift that. Let's do the right foot up this time. Big stretch. Ooh. And then let's do the other leg. All right. Down dog. Let's stay here for 3 breaths. I'm not eating the wiggle quite so much now that I've warmed up a bit. And step forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale all the way up to the ceiling. Exhale, heart center. All right, let's do one more sun salutation, a variation. Inhale. Plank, chaturanga. Up dog. Really let the breath lead the movement, okay? This time, left foot lifts first. And then right leg. Up and over. Take 3 nice deep breaths. And step or jump forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach, reach, reach. And exhale, heart center. All right, so now we're going to do a sun salutation V variation. So inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, plank. Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. And step that right foot forward immediately between your hands. Come up to warrior 1. And then instead of just heading back down to the ground with our hands, we're actually just going to stay here for a couple breaths. And I'm going to straighten my legs, but keep my hands where they are and just pivot towards the back of the mat. Sink down into warrior 1 on this side. I'm going to reach my arms out into warrior 2, sinking a little bit lower. And from here, I'm actually going to go directly into half moon, so I actually need a little bit more space because there's a sofa in the way. I just wanted to do the practice out here by the fire for you guys. I'm going to reach my left hand till it can touch the floor. I'm going to open up, all my limbs extended fully into half moon. And then gently lower down. And I'm going to twist to the other side into warrior 2. More breaths here. And then hand to waist, reach the right arm towards the ground. You can always use a block too if you have one, that's easier. And come up till all of your limbs are extended, lifting the left leg as high as you can, opening the chest, Nice, strong half moon. Great. All right. And then from here, I'm actually going to go into a forward fold. Hands to waist. Inhale, tilt forward. And once you're about halfway, then you can exhale and let yourself go all the way to the ground. Lots of variations here. You can have your hands in front of you. You can walk them back underneath your legs. Today, it's again all about kind of breaking up any stiffness. Just haven't really been out hiking and playing pickleball as much as I'd like with the snow. I'm going to lean forward and reach my fingertips as far forward as they can go. So I'm really pivoting or tilting onto the balls of the feet and off the heels. It really loosens up my lower back and leaves all that tension. Right, let's come back up. And inhale, flat back. Exhale, all the way up. All right, stretch those arms out long. And from here, let's go into a goddess pose. So your toes will pivot out towards about a 45-degree angle out towards the corners of the mat. And then arms up into goalpost arms, cactus arms, and just sink your hips down. Very strong pose. Just remember my intention here. Savoring my downtime. Time focusing inward on what my body needs so that I can give more to the outer world when it's time. Everything in its season. All right, great. All right, from here, let's go to the front of the mat. And we're going to do it again, but we're going to use the left leg this time to start us off. So inhale. Exhale. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, plank, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. And this is where the left leg comes in. You're going to bring it forward between your hands. Pivot the back heel and come into warrior one. Nice, strong warrior one. If it's tight if your shoulders are too tight, have your hands together like this. You can do goalpost arms or just arms straight ahead, Y shape, whatever feels best. One more deep breath. We're going to straighten the legs and just pivot to the other side. And do the same pose here. And I'm going to reach those arms long and do a spacious warrior two. My front heel's in line with my back arch. Arms really reaching, creating a lot of tension in the center of my body, centered over my hips. And then from here, we're going to tip forward, reach that right arm towards the floor, half moon. And back down. Pivot towards the other side. Warrior two. And let's go left hand to the floor, right leg long, half moon. All right. And I'm going to turn to face you, and we're going to do One more forward fold. So feel free to play with your favorite variation. I'm gonna link my hands. Ooh, and stretch those shoulders as I fold towards the earth. With each inhale, lengthen the back and the spine out of the waist towards the floor. With each exhale, fold a little closer to the legs. Oh, so good. All right, inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold all the way up. And let's do one more goddess pose, arms out, and goalpost arms. Pivot the toes towards the front corners of the mat. Sink it down. Let's do 5 deep breaths here. Everything wide, everything expanded, bursting out of that old skin. Doing whatever it takes to make the necessary changes. Great. Feet at the front of the mat. Hands in prayer pose. Take a moment to collect yourself. And from here, let's vinyasa. Hands up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, plank. Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Right leg steps forward, much like before. Inhale to warrior one. And do it a little bit differently this time. One more breath. And just like last time, we're going to pivot. It'll be our last warrior one, so make it extra strong. When we open up into warrior two, we're going to make it a flying warrior. So sink as low as you can, arms outstretched in a normal warrior two. And then in the next inhale, reach your hands up, straighten both legs. Exhale back into the fold. Instead of holding in one position, flying warrior two. The next exhale, as you go into warrior two, we're going to reach back to reverse warrior. Oh, very good. And then pivot towards the other side. Start normal warrior two. Give that a couple of breaths to get your grounding. And flying warrior. Inhale. Exhale. Letting the breath lead the way. Making sure it's not an afterthought. Should be the point. On the next fold, we go into reverse warrior. We've moved into so many different planes, into different dimensions, and really just shaking our bodies up. Now it's time to come to the floor. So hands on either side of the foot. And we're going to come into plank and chaturanga. Up dog. Now down dog. And let's take 5 nice deep breaths here in down dog. It's our last one for the day. Ooh, it's pretty hot in here with the fire in my sweatshirt. Definitely not cold. It's a nice break. Got the blood moving. Everything limbered up. Definitely ready for some soothing energy now. All right. And come to a seat. And I'm going to rotate to face you. Good job. Downhill from here. All right. We're going to start with a seated forward bend. So hands by your side, lightly touching the mat, feet extended and flexed. Sitting very tall. Sometimes it helps to kind of actually move the flesh out of the way, create some space. And then sitting up tall, we're going to lean forward, hinging it first before you start rounding. I'm going to grab my toes. You can also use a strap or even just hold on to your legs. But I'm going to wrap using 2 fingers around my big toes, elbows pulling me forward, maybe pushing out to the side a little bit as I lower down. With each inhale, I focus on my spine getting longer and longer. Each exhale, I focus on the backs of my legs, sinking into the floor. I'll take a few more Ujjayi breaths here. Your lower back opens up. If you're able, you can reach, either do a bind or you can grab the outsides of the feet and get a little closer to those legs. Now without leaning up, I want you to just drop the bind if you have one. So your hands fall to the earth. Your back may have bounced up a little bit, but you're still leaning forward. And then one vertebra at a time, we're going to roll up, just unfurling to seated. Head is last to rise. So much more length. All right, and from here, we're going to take the right foot and cross it over the left knee, kind of up on the quad. You have to sort of find a comfortable spot where your ankle isn't digging in too severely. And if this feels easy, if your hips are really open, you can also take the foot into half lotus. I'm going to try half lotus today. Flexing the left leg, be very straight and long and grounded in the earth. I'm going to make sure my chest is facing that foot and then slowly walk my hands down the leg towards the foot. Think low. Maybe in a day, in a week, in a month, in a year, in a decade, the head will touch the knee. And let's come back up, slowly rounding up. And switch sides. Shake the legs out for a moment. And then left leg bends. And do half lotus or leg on the quad, ankle on the quad. If you want, and I can sort of do it on this side, I've got the cardiac device there in the way, but you can grab the toes See that? And kind of nice to have the extra stretch of that bind, if that's accessible to you. Definitely not necessary. And come on up. Great. Shake those legs out. We're going to do one more seated fold, but I want to go ahead and just do a couple of boat poses to give those legs a minute to get some blood moving again. It's a lot of folding in a row. So I'm going to come up and do boat pose. You can either keep your knees bent, arms extended like this. That's kind of a beginner's place you can practice. You can even support behind your back if you need to with your hands, or you can extend everything out. Take 5 breaths. That's 3. That's 5 for me. I'm just going to lift my seat a little bit. All right. And now I'm going to bend my right foot in, taking it as far as I can towards my seat. So really bring it in tight. And then I'm going to take my right arm, stretch it towards the left foot, and then turn it and wrap it around to make a bind. I'm going to do this, I'm going to change my direction. I don't have fancy camera work so that you can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to take this arm inside of the leg, reach forward, wrap it around, and make a bind. And same as the other poses, we're working on getting that forehead closer to the knee. There's really no added benefit of touching the knee unless you just happen to get there. That's kind of nice. You can, it gives you a place to rest your head, but you could also put a pillow on your knee or have a bolster next to your extended leg. But the bind kind of helps you not feel like you're just hanging out in space. All right, now come up. Before you release the bind, keep the bind. We're just going to start to lean up, and then at the very last, when you really have to, you can't come out of it any other way, then you can release the bind. You want to hang on to the bind as long as possible in those. All right. Left leg comes in. Left arm around the leg. Same bind on the other side. Now, both sides may feel quite different. They do for me in all of these seated forward folds. And it's kind of odd, like how different they can be. It's easier for me to have my balance on the other side than it is on this side. I feel a little bit like tipped over or something. But I do find that the more I practice, it starts to even me out a little bit. And you just find workarounds for what's different on both sides of your body. We're never going to be totally symmetrical. It's not even the goal. All right, now I'm going to come up as far as I can with the bind in place before I release. Let's do one more boat pose. Sit back, extend if you can, take 5 breaths. Five, nice. Great. All right, so now it's time to do a little bit more hip opening. We're going to go into lizard pose. So we'll start from table, and I'm going to take my right foot forward. And the left leg can just extend back. And then I like to use a rolled up blanket, but you could have a bolster, blocks. Just like to have a tiny bit of height for my elbows and padding. And you're just going to come down wherever it's comfortable. Now you can keep your foot fully flat on the floor, this right foot, or you can roll onto the outer edge if that feels better. That just kind of opens a different part of the outer hip. So whatever feels best to you. A lot of the beauty of this one for me is the hip flexor on the left side. And as you can see, I'm kind of rocking a little bit, really getting into the tendons, the joints. In a much more soothing and relaxing way. I'm still sort of breaking up that old skin, that old scar tissue, whatever's standing in the way for the new movements I need to make, the new agility I'm trying to find. Wherever you are now, just see what else you can relax. Where can you let go without completely falling out of the posture? That's probably more than you think. Maybe drop your head. You can almost imagine like my teeth are like a little looser in their sockets or whatever in my jaw. Just really focus on that inner tension and where you hold it, letting it drop away. This is a time of rest. And when you're ready, just come out very slowly. I like to kind of come out through a runner's lunge. Just give a quick stretch there while the blood rushes back in, and then pause and table for a moment, maybe do a couple of cat-cows. And the other side. And again, this might feel pretty different than when we had the right leg forward, and that's fine. So I kind of move around a lot in the beginning of the pose and see what needs doing. It's a little more intense on this side for me, so I'm going to take my last few breaths. Be fully extended on my hands into the mat, long arms. Take a little bit of the pressure off of my left hamstring. It's always bugging me. And then come into a runner's lunge, extending that left leg, flexing the foot. And let's do another couple of cat-cows. Maybe rocking, exaggerating them front and back. And then take the right foot forward towards the front left corner of the mat. We're going to bend the leg into pigeon. And you can also do this on your back, just holding the leg in towards your chest if this feels a little bit too intense. So you want to really square the hips before you get too comfortable. And once those feel really nice and square and like you could stay here for a long time, then you can start to walk the hands forward onto a bolster, onto pillows, or just straight onto the floor. And sink into reclined pigeon. You can either stay in reclined or you can come up and reach the left arm back. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? You can either stay in reclined or you can come up, reach the right arm back, grab the left toes, and get an additional hip flexor stretch here. Opening the throat, chest, lifting the heart towards the ceiling. And then release that foot. Do another couple breaths in reclined so everyone can meet together. And then slowly, slowly, slowly push yourself up. And maybe do a couple of cat-cows in the transition. And if you feel the need, you can even do knees out to the sides and a nice deep child's pose. And then pushing forward, we're going to take the left foot forward this time. And work your way into that nice squared hips pose of pigeon. Front of the body long. Once you feel nice and balanced, you can start to work your way down to recline. All right, I'm going to come up and with the left hand grab the right toes, touching the front of the body, the right hip flexor, dropping the head back, heart towards the ceiling. sun's starting to come out through the window. It might be really cold out there, but at least it's sunny. And release. Come back down to recline for a couple of breaths. Sealing off this nice deep stretch. All the benefits of the hip opening that we've done today. Go ahead and push ourselves up to seated. And we're going to sit in easy pose. So legs crossed. You can have one foot on top of the other shin. Do half lotus, full lotus, whatever's comfortable for you. And I'm actually going to take my blanket, fold it over. Give me just about an inch of height. You could sit on a block if you need a lot more height. Whatever will help the knees open out, fall forward. Keep any rounding out of the lower back that would be uncomfortable. I'm going to take my right hand out to the side, reach the left arm long, stretch to the side, keeping both sit bones still grounded. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. And this time when I come to the right, I'm going to reach the left arm up to stretch again. And then I'm going to spin it around and place it in front of me. And I'm going to take my left ear towards my right knee. And I'm going to look back towards the back of the room, towards the fireplace in my case. And then come back up. I'm going to stretch to the left. Oof. When you can't stretch any further, place that arm in front of you, right ear to the left knee. Look towards the back of the room. And then come back up to sitting. Open heart, open chest, deep breath in. Open your arms wide. And then I'm going to take the right arm, cross it over. Left arm, cross it over. Give myself a hug, lowering my chin down in my chest. And then arms open wide again. Chest full of breath. And this time the left arm first, right arm over that. Lengthening the neck. Maybe rolling the head a little bit. Feeling safe and cozy and ready for some serious wintering. Take care, everyone. Stay warm.